I'm the number one automation engineer here in the UAE. We already work with some great brands such as NAS Academy, which is from NAS, and Lawbymac and Ugo Lord, who are big popular creators with 40 million plus for both of them in the US, and Anthony O'Neill, who's a big financial coach that used to work with Dave Ramsey. And we also, our quality first approach when it comes to work was so well received that we even got a DM from Ali Abdaal early this year to collaborate with us.
So yeah, Fad. To be very honest, I have not figured out it yet what is going to be the name of this particular show or podcast. I just wanted to jump in and start this thing. So I was that excited, and I'm yet to figure out. Maybe I'll figure out after maybe three or fourth episodes. So I do not want to start. That's why I'm not starting the podcast with welcome to this particular show. Basically, what we are looking forward from this particular podcast series is that anybody who is looking forward to learn digital marketing and who are looking forward to build their business, particularly to the topic, particularly to UAE. This podcast series should help them, right? Understand what it takes to build a business in UAE and how you can use digital marketing as a platform and build your business specifically in UAE. So that's what we are catering to, and that's why most of the questions will be related to UAE. So without wasting much of your time, Fahad is, as I would say, he's into a niche which most people are not much of the aware about. Most people don't take it very seriously about, but automation, right? I think we met when I was starting it very small, and from that point, from that particular very small dot, we both have grown to a point that there's a lot I am learning from Fahad right now. I want you to tell your story. So, simple question, Fahad, what's your story in a very simple format?
So I hopefully get to say that, guys, this big podcast, I was the first guest. Anyways, coming back to the point, thanks for inviting me. To sum up my story, my name is Fahad. I'm the founder of Automate My Biz. And when I started my entrepreneurial journey or my career back when I was 17, I came across this book called Ikigai. And Ikigai talked about talked is what taught me the concept of the flow state. And the flow state is when you love something so much, you're in this state of flow that you forget the concept of time. And ever since I read that book, I've been chasing that, and I've been trying different things ever since then. I did 5 different internships, multiple jobs. One of the jobs was with you guys as well, and that is when I came across the thing called automation. And that's how I was like, what, automation is something that I enjoy doing the most. So I went all in. I did multiple jobs, and I quit my job and started freelancing after 3 years because I realized I couldn't learn much. And ever since then, a year after that, I started my automation agency, and now I'm grateful to say that I'm the number one automation engineer here in the UAE, and I'm ranked at the top when it comes to automation on Upwork. And we had the privilege and Automate My Biz, it's been 1.5 years currently since we've been running, and we're a team of 8, and we already work with some great brands such as NAS Academy, which is from NAS, and Lawbymac and Ugo Lord, who are big popular creators with 40 million plus for both of them in the US, and Anthony O'Neill, who's a big financial coach that used to work with Dave Ramsey. And we also, our quality first approach when it comes to work was so well received that we even got a DM from Ali Abdaal early this year to collaborate with us. And overall, it's going good, alhamdulillah. But business has its ups and downs, and hopefully we are envisioning, I don't think envisioning, I believe that we are heading to a world where the world is business are gonna be run on autopilot, and we want to be at the forefront of it, automating and systemizing the business. So it's a self-driving business, and we are leading the march here in UAE and across the world.
Great. Uh, you have worked with some of the big names in the influencer marketing industry, or you would say digital industry. We'll come to that later, but I think I have to begin this whole podcast with a very simple question. Maybe you will feel like, okay, what is this? Is this a question or what? but for a lot of people, this is still a confusing word. My question is, what is automation, Fahad? What is this? Everybody is telling that automate your business. What is that exactly? If you can put it in a very simple manner so that our audience can understand what is automation.
Absolutely. I will explain it firstly with the definition and then an analogy. So, automation in a nutshell is the use of bots to automate manual, repetitive, and tedious tasks in your business. So, you as a business owner or a team member can focus on the revenue generating tasks instead of doing the manual work. To put an example, think of this. Have you seen the movie I Robot by Will Smith? There is a scene where there is like thousands of bots standing over there, and all you have to do is just give a command. So automation is just like that. You have these manual tasks in your business: document generation, invoicing, client onboarding, all these things. All you have to do is just train the bot, show the bot, hey, this is how you do it, and these thousands of bot is going to do it for you, and they are not going to sleep, and they work 24/7. That is what an automation is.
Okay, my next question is, as an entrepreneur, how is it going to benefit in my life? If you can go in depth here a little, that would be great. Like as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a marketing guy, okay, how your service or how automation is going to help in my to fasten to scale my brand.
Absolutely. So, what I would say is that if you're a founder, if you're a performance driven founder, your business is most often your life. You're spending all your time on your business. So, your first objective is to streamline and automate that. So, you as a founder can focus on your life or maybe even grow to a certain scale. And I believe if you as a business owner need to scale to a certain threshold, if you want to scale across any threshold, you need proper systems and you need proper automation, because you can't depend on humans. You told me yesterday that people depend more on systems than automation, and it's completely fair, because humans, there's a lot of, they make errors, they do all these things. So if you want me to go in depth, I would say there is, if you are a business owner, entrepreneur, you have to focus on four key areas in your business that you should be focusing on to automate. And if you can start with these four, then you're golden, and then you can just figure it out from there. And those four are: first is marketing, second is sales, third is fulfillment, and fourth is reporting. So there is a lot more deeper. If you go deeper into each of them, there is a lot, but at least automating these four, because these four are the four crucial departments in any business: sales, marketing, and fulfillment, and lastly reporting. And all four of them are very, very, very important. And if you can automate these four key areas in your business, sales, marketing includes where you get the leads from, following
We'll
up.
start from the first two. How do you automate sales? Like I have a sales process. What do you do? What magic you do over there so that you can explain how do you automate sales?
So do you mean by how I go by auditing and automating it, or how can one go
Yeah,
by
the
automating
process.
them?
For example, I have a sales team. I have two companies. Both the companies have sales team. How you as a person comes there and solve any of my problem, where I can maximize my sales revenue, minimize managing things. Where do you come in actually? Like what do? You do it with software or you do it with people? What do you do actually over there?
So there is 3 degrees in which you do work. One is fully manual, one is fully automated, and one is semi-automated. The area that I usually focus on is semi-automated, because there is, in sales, especially in sales, because there is some sort of human element to be added in there. In this day and age, even sales can be automated. I don't know if you've seen this, the sales agents, AI agents that calls them, but I don't believe in that yet, because a human element has to be there. And the way we can go by automating that is by, firstly, you have to understand your sales process. This is very, very important. And what most people don't often talk about as the importance of automation is the first importance, and the main importance that most people get, or most business owners get, is they get more clarity on their business process. And this is very shocking or jarring to most people, because most business owners have no idea how their business process is.
I think let's take it this way. Let's say I have an academy,
Yeah.
or I have an agency. Let's say let it connect with a lot of marketing agencies. I have an agency. I have a business development team. I manage all my leads. I have three pipelines right
Okay.
now: inbound, outbound, and advertisements. Right. I have these three pipelines. I have a CRM software where I manage these leads from the brief call to the onboarding. This is the scenario. can you take me to step-by-step process in a very, I would say, without putting a lot of jargons to it, so that people understand from where you come in. Let's say I'm coming to Fahad and I have seen a lot of videos and I'm coming to Fahad. Fahad, what can you do for me? So from the very step to completing your job, what is the process? Take examples from my own business maybe, and share it how, so that it gives a lot of clarity to the audience.
Absolutely. So the first foremost thing I would say is map out your business process. If you want to automate it, there's a saying, right? A well-defined problem is half solved. In order to automate, the first thing is identifying how your process looks like. What are the different things that you do? A lead comes in, like you said, right? 3 different.
So you sit with me in a call, video call.
Yes, we sit in with you on a video call.
We'll connect dot by dot,
Exactly,
everything.
exactly.
So, okay, I book a call with Fahad. Fahad comes to that meeting. You sit with me in a meeting, right? What do you do? Like, what do I have to do?
So all I will be doing is just asking you all the questions.
So you will have a questionnaire.
Yes, I will have a questionnaire which asks all the relevant questions I'll be asking.
What are the major questions you ask? If you can name like 5 questions.
The major questions is, first is, what does your tech stack look like? When I say tech stack, the tools and systems that you're using in your business. It could include a CRM system, an integration system, reporting system, whatever systems you're using, list them all out.
So you go in depth asking questions about my
Exactly.
sales process, and that's where you tell me that I will get more clarity on what
Exactly.
my sales process actually is. When you put forward a lot of questions,
Yeah.
and I have to answer.
Exactly.
How long is this meeting?
This meeting usually is somewhere between 1 to 2 hours.
1 to 2 hours. How much questions you ask?
I ask like 40, 30 questions or something.
Okay, 30, 40 questions.
Yeah.
Isn't this boring?
It is not boring. I'll tell you why. Because what happens, one may think it's boring, but as a business owner, what they want is clarity. And what I've seen most often is that as soon as we go through these questionnaire, the business owner or the sales team will start mumbling. They don't know what the process is like, and they get more clarity, so they are more interested in me asking questions.
Even if we are not automating the sales yet,
Yeah.
we are getting a lot of value in the first call
Absolutely.
itself.
Absolutely. This is exactly what you said, remember? You're like,
Great.
I had no idea, this is the process. This is what most business, 90% of the people we jump on a call with, they had no idea.
Great. So we have completed all the,
Yeah.
I mean, you have asked all the questions. I have replied to all your answers. Some of them
Yeah.
I still don't know what is it. So this is how you end the meeting, and what's the next process?
Alright, so the next process is, if they do have some sort of systems, either we audit it, we take their logins and we audit it, or if that is not necessary, what we do is we give them a detailed SOP document on what we think is best for them with a flowchart. So a flowchart on how their process map should look like.
Explain SOP process.
Okay, systematic.
I'm going to go
Yeah.
dot by dot so that people understand what this process actually look like in depth.
So SOP is a systematic order
Operation,
process,
yeah.
operations procedure that a business usually follows
Okay.
on a step-by-step basis. So we give them a SOP document or a PDF document on the problems we identified and the solutions we recommend for you guys with the results you can expect with these things in place. And the thing that I've often seen is, with just these analysis, it's not just me, but you as a business owner often gets clarity, because a well-defined problem is half solved. And with this audit, we are able to come up with all the different things that can be automated.
What do you do to come into that conclusion? Like, you do your own research, or
Yes.
what is the back end process?
The thing is, I do my own research into your business. What is your industry? And because we mostly work with a particular industry, I can immediately come up with the areas in which that can be automated. I've been building automations for the past 5 years now. So just by looking into the process, I can immediately identify, hey, this can be automated, this can be automated. So just list them down.
So to put it in a nutshell, let's say you understand all my procedures. What happens when a lead make the first contact to converting that lead? Maybe some of the lead will go into the delete call, maybe they won't respond. So you understand all the touch points, and then you will also understand what are the tasks I am doing repeatedly, right? And you will note down all these points, and you will see where in those tasks you can automate, so that I don't have to do it twice. One, and second thing is, where in those tasks I can automate so that I can save time, right? So this is what you do as an audit. Great. Let's suppose you have done the audit. What's next?
All right. So after the audit is done, we give the documentation to the client saying that, hey, these are the things we think which will help you guys. And this document sometimes will attach a flowchart, and this flowchart will include all the touch points, all the way from the lead came in till they become a customer. Every single touch point is properly mapped.
Let's talk about touch points.
Yeah.
You have, let's say, the first call is a brief call.
Yeah.
Let's say inbound lead. Okay. Inbound lead either go to the entire flow and then gets closed.
Yeah.
Or they won't be interested. They go to the warm or the cold. Okay. So what do you do in each section? Like,
Okay.
What are some of the
Good
examples
question.
if you can see?
So as soon as the lead comes in, the first thing that we do is add to a CRM, some sort of system. You need to see all the leads where they are in. And second thing that we do is we notify the relevant team members accordingly, because humans forget, and we don't want any leads. Every lead is important, so we don't want any leads to be forgotten. So we notify the relative team member. At the same time, we create a task for the team member to get in touch with them. Either it's that, or some business owner directly wants to send an email to get them to book a call. So that is what we do, either task to call or directly a link to book a call. And that is the first touch point. The second touch point is after the call is booked, there's a lot of stuff, email automations will be added, nurture email sequence, all these things comes into play. And at the end, it could be, creating invoices, sending them welcome emails, onboarding them, all these automations comes into play. And this relatively automates around 70% of your sales process.
Okay, you were talking about nurturing the audience. How automation helps me in nurturing the audience? Let's say I have had 100 leads in my CRM, where 20 of them have converted. I have 30 of them still discussing. Okay, it's been 3-4 months, and another 50 of them is in delete call. How do you help me convert this delete call or people who have said no to me? What do you do over there?
Yes. So what I would recommend is adding them to a nurture list. So a nurture list is the list where most people who initially said no but may become a future customer. So we add them to a nurture list, and thereafter the automations we could do is either send them every 2 weeks some newsletter updates, and that can be automated as well. We can have a 12 sets or maybe even 24 sets of emails ready already, and just schedule them for the next 1 year. And every 2 weeks you're getting in front of them, in front of their eyes, and they keep reminding you, and there's a good chance these audience are going to convert with you as well. That is one way. Second way is I think that's the only way I can think of at the moment.
Great. Okay. Now, in the second stage, you have presented me where are areas I can automate.
Yeah.
What's next?
All right. So once we show you that, hey, these are the possibilities in which that can be automated, the next steps would be to onboard you guys. And after we onboard, we go by. There is one thing that we haven't discussed, that is, tool. So
yes,
what
I'm
tool
coming
it
to
is.
there.
So,
Now, let's say I've agreed to your terms and everything. What tools come into the place?
Yes.
And is it I need to change something, or how do you make this process happen?
All right. So what we do is first, in the initial questionnaire, we know what tools you're using, and based on your requirement, we will check if this tool is capable of handling your requirements. And most often than not, you need a different tool, because what most every business will outgrow the tool you're using every 6 to 12 months. If you're not, you're doing something wrong. And when you do outgrow the tool, most business owners aren't aware of it. So often times the tool they're using isn't capable of handling their current automation requirements. So we move them to a different tool that is capable of it. And then we go by setting up all the automations and everything.
What tool you use?
So are you talking
why?
about? Okay. So there is multiple tools I use for all the different departments I've talked about. When it comes to sales, what I often use is, for a CRM, the top tier, the go-to recommendation is HubSpot. HubSpot is the holy grail of all CRMs out there. It is the best, and that is what I recommend, but it is very expensive. It's like $2,000 per month. So I don't recommend it to every business, but the business that is able to afford it with millions of dollars in revenue, I say, hey, let's go with HubSpot. The second best choice is ActiveCampaign or Go High Level. These two are my most favorite CRM tools, and the reason I say all three that I just mentioned is because their automation capability is insane.
Now, when you say automation capability and scale, what do you mean?
Yeah, so most tools, has to have inbuilt automation features. Like, a deal is moved here, automatically do this. This happens, do that. And most tools, automation capabilities are very, very limited because their objective is CRM or whatever it is. And there is only a very limited number of tools that focus on the automation capability, how much integrations that they can have, direct integration with the calendar or any tools that you're using. And these tools are always top notch when it comes to building any sort of advanced automation.
What all are the major integrations that happens in an automation?
All right. So the major integration is firstly with your calendar. So whatever bookings you're using, for most agencies, it all starts with a call. Most agencies, online service providers, starts with a call. So either it's your Calendly or it's your telephony system. And telephony system, or third, because we mostly work with US clients, it's email. So connecting it to their email or telephony is the most important thing. And thirdly is your calendar.
And how do you integrate with them?
So there is two ways in which we can integrate, and this is why I said automation capability is very important. First is direct integration. There is two types of integration: direct and indirect. Direct is when the tool itself has a direct connection with the other software. That makes everyone's life so much easier. Add the code or add the API key, it's automatically connected, and that is one way you can integrate it. And most HubSpot has most of the tools out there. Second is indirect connection, where you use a third-party software. This is where Make, Zapier, Pabbly comes into play, and it acts as a middleware between these two. And whenever something happens here, it's going to send it there.
Can you explain to the common audience, like what do this Zapier, Pabbly, Make, all these tools do actually? Like, there is a word which is a buzzword, webhook.
Yeah.
What do these guys do? Like,
All
actually,
right.
what do these guys do?
So,
and when I, for example, as a as an entrepreneur, when should I think, okay, I need a help of these tools? What is the point where I have to start depending on these tools?
All right. So essentially, the tools that Zapier, Make.com or Pabbly are all integration tools, automation/integration tools. And the way to explain it very simply, up until 2015 or something, every business, the way they used to, every software communicate using a language called APIs, Application Programming Interface. That is how it's like, I ask something from Haris gives it to me, and Haris asks something from me, I give it to him. That is how we communicate, and that's how software communicate with each other. And that is essentially what automation is. I say you to do something, you do that thing. And that was only possible by developers only. Up until now, the APIs were able to only be handled by developers, because most commoners didn't know what API is, how to make API calls. We call it as API calls. So this software will tell that software, hey, I need this data, please give it to me. That is automation essentially. That was not available for most commoners up until no-code tools like Zapier, Make.com and Pabbly came into play. All they do is essentially this, making API calls, but on the back end. In the front end, all you have to do is just click few buttons and it will make the API calls for you. And that is what this integration and automation tool is. So making the API calls on the back end, and the front end is very drag and drop, just like websites, WordPress.
Great.
That's what I would
so
describe
either
it as.
you use either Go High Level or ActiveCampaign along with these integration tools. These are your two most used weapons.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So using these tools, what do you do? You create a flow chart, or what do you do?
Yes. So for us, everything begins with a flow chart, because as I often keep repeating, a well-defined problem is half solved. So once we map out your process, we show that, hey, this is how automated your process is going to look like. And most of the time, we automate up to 70 or 90% of the sales process. It starts with a flow chart, and we map it out often on a tool like Whimsical or Miro board or Lucid Charts. Any of these tools, we map it out, we send it to the client. Once they approve it, the team and I will go by first implementing the automation. But if they don't have a system, or we have to move the system, we migrate the system to a relative system, and we go by first implementing the system, then automation, then we hand it over to the client.
I read, I think in your website, if you don't get value out of what we are doing, a full refund.
Yeah.
How could you be that confident about the process?
Yes. Firstly, thanks to Alex Ambozi for giving me this insight about, I read it from 100 Million Offers, and it's absolutely true. The reason I opted for it is because we have 80% retention rate. And the reason why I have 80% retention rate for every clients we come with is because our work is very good. I am obsessed. I have a perfectionistic tendency, so I am obsessed with the quality of the work that we do. So there is a lot of things that goes into how good of an automation is. So I make sure every single thing is automated, and every single thing in which the automation could go wrong is accounted for. So I know that whatever I'm doing is gonna be the best, and I have the track record to prove that, which is why I'm able to say that, hey, I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for the past 5 years. If you don't see any value, I'm going to refund you the money.
What are the outputs which you think I will get if I automate the entire process? You say maybe 20% your retention would go higher.
Yeah.
What are some of the outputs you think it will happen? It will impact in my...
Firstly, it's efficiency. Efficiency is gonna be it's gonna go up through the roof charts, because most people are often dependent on people, and people take time. They have to eat, they have to go lunch, they have to go to the washroom, all these things. They only work for 8 hours. So when the bot comes into play, when you automate your lead inquiry, or you build an AI chatbot that is handling your inquiries, no more dependent on people, what happens is your efficiency is double, because people are working for 8 hours, bot is working for 24 hours. That's double the output. So your efficiency is gonna at least double, and then how much big of your scale is, it's gonna double from there. Second is saving time. It's gonna save you a lot of time. So what we often see is somewhere between 50 to 200 hours per week. And that is crucial, because why? That is a labor that that is supposed to be some 2 guys' job that you're essentially replacing with bots. Second is time. Third, what most people don't talk about is how much flexible the founder is. Because as a founder, in your mind, the scale of your business is dependent upon how free your mind is. You told me that concept. And what happens is, when you don't automate things, right, it depends upon you. You have to remind them. You have to check in. Hey, what happened with this lead? What happened with that? You have to always be reminded to do certain things. When it's automated, it's completely free of your mind, and you as a founder has much flexibility over your business. So those are the 3 key things I think happens when you automate your business.
Let's start a little. Let's talk a little about the opportunity and career mapping. What do you see? What do you see the scope of automation in near future?
It is insane. The thing is, when I started out 4 years back in 2020, there was literally no jobs. I remember one time I went to LinkedIn, there was only 10 job posts, and 5 of them was from a year ago. There was no job post whatsoever. But since 2023, the demand for automation related jobs was skyrocketing.
My question, how did you get your first client?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I got my first client from Upwork. Okay. So actually not Upwork, through Reddit. Okay. So I found someone from LinkedIn. I had a very bad experience. So I just made a Reddit post saying that, hey guys, I had this experience. Was I doing something wrong? Because I'm the guy who always wants someone's opinion to know that if I'm doing right or wrong. So I just made this post. Everyone is like, bro, you're not doing wrong. I listed the things I was doing for them. Email automations. Everyone's like, bro, why did you charge this much? You should be charging 10 times. I got 2 leads from that. That's how I got my first client. Okay. Then I got...
From Reddit.
Yeah.
Because you were putting a lot of opinions on Reddit. Exactly. You got your first.
Yeah, I made a
Why
post.
Why Reddit? Who told you to put there?
No one told me to put there. The only thing is Reddit is like
how do you I have to do this on Reddit. How do you come into that?
I think it's a Gen Z thing. Okay. Like Gen Zs usually go to Reddit forums. Okay. So Reddit forums is where a lot of the things young guys just talk about random things. So there is always this particular forum in Reddit for everything. So there was I was doing email automation. So there was an email marketing forum because that's where I know all the email marketing gurus exist. Okay. So I was like, you know what? This is the best place to ask for opinions. Okay. Put the post there. I got 2 leads from there.
You got 2 leads.
Yeah.
What's next? You started working with them?
Yes, I started having a chat with them, and I was like, I'm trying my Upwork profile. So we got the first client from there, and from there onwards, everything was
then
from Upwork.
You created a profile on Upwork.
Exactly.
Can you give me tips on if I have to, create a profile, optimize my profile, and start getting clients from Upwork? Mm-hmm. What do I have to do?
Absolutely. Firstly, I want to talk about the importance of having a good profile. Because if you don't have a good profile...
What is good profile?
A good profile is something that is well defined on what exactly do you do and what value they can get. That is the 2 important things. What exactly you do, what value you get, and third, the past case studies and the works you've done. And remember I told you all the people that we work with in Nas Academy, Anthony O'Neill, law by Mike, all these things are all inbound. I never sent a proposal to them. They came to me, they're like, hey Fahad, I need your help. All of them.
They came through?
They came through Upwork, all three of them. Ali Abdaal was a referral.
So Upwork has a lot of
It has a lot of
opportunities, and
potential.
people are specifically Indians and people are not aware about it. That's what you're telling.
Exactly.
We have to be there.
Yes and no. Upwork is saturated now. Back when I started, it was still somewhat saturated, but I still got in because I was very niched out.
Your topic is also a niche.
Very. This is exactly what one of my mentors, she have told me. One of the reasons you found success there is because you are doing a very niche related skill. And I was not a digital marketer. I was automation engineer. I build systems and automation for you to streamline your business, and I have case studies and reviews. So what I would say to answer your question, to have a good profile is firstly have a good title. What exactly do you do? And it should be very niched out. You should not be a digital marketer. I'm a digital marketer for X, Y, and Z, or I do social media marketing. Very specific. That's first thing. Second thing is have a good title and a bio that talks about you, talks about why you are the right choice, and lastly, some of your achievements. For me, in there, I was like, I've been working for 5 years. I've done 5,000 plus automations, X, Y, and Z, and that impresses them. And lastly, always for every projects you do, ask for reviews. Every project I do, I have reviews. I have like 25 plus reviews. And one of the reasons, when you search for best automation engineers in UAE, I come at the first result and at the top on Upwork. And the reason for that is because every client I work with,
how do they get in? I mean, they message you directly?
They message you directly. So there is 3 ways in which you could get a job on Upwork. First, you apply them. When you start out, you have to apply. You don't have any credibility. Second is they invite you. They put up a job post. They invite you specifically. Third is they directly message you. They directly message you saying that, hey Fahad, I would like to work with you. Let's have a chat. And
how do you? I think you have to put a price.
Yeah.
How do you come into a conclusion? This is my price.
That's a very good question. This is exactly the same question I asked myself 3 years back. I don't have the exact blueprint because there is 2 ways in which people usually go by. First, they charge very small. They grow from there. That is what I did. I started with the least amount, which was $3. I wanted to do less than that, but there was no less than that. $3 per hour. I started from there. My first project was $6 and I worked for 3 weeks. $6 project for 3 weeks. That was my first project. And you have to charge at this minimum and then you slowly build from there. My current rate is $75 per hour and I still get clients for that. And I started with $3 2 years back. So, you slowly increase it from there. That is one thing. Second concept that people often go with is have a fixed rate and like, hey, this is my price. You have $20 per hour. There is no changing from there.
Let's say I'm listening to this particular podcast and I got the curiosity and interest towards building in automation. Myself into career mapping, myself into automation. Where do I start?
All right. So first thing is follow me. No, just kidding. So there is a lot of academies out there. Sorry, not academies. The tools that you're using. Firstly, it's knowing how the tools work. You have to have 2 things first. Fundamentals on how automation works, like how API work, what is webhook. All these fundamental knowledge you need to have. You can get that.
I should get?
To get that, firstly, there is a lot of Udemy courses out there giving fundamental knowledge. First, get fundamental knowledge.
What should I search if I have to get?
So automation courses or no-code automation courses or
no-code automation.
Yeah, no-code automation or no-code tools will give you the basic overview on how these tools work and how the automation works. Once you get that, you go into Zapier Academy, Make.com Academy and HubSpot Academy.
These people have academies.
These 3, Zapier, Make.com, HubSpot are all tools that I just mentioned, which I use as well. All of them have their own courses. And then you have to know first fundamental knowledge, then tool knowledge. And after that, you just figure it out from there. Because first you need to have fundamental knowledge, then you will know what are the right questions you need to ask. First you will have no idea what you're doing. Once you start learning these things, you'll be like, hey, what is this? What is that? Then you go by searching on Google, you implement it, and that's how I learned. I got fundamental knowledge.
Do you use ChatGPT?
Absolutely, every day, man.
For what?
I automate a lot of my...
how ChatGPT helps you?
Okay, there is 2 ways in which it's helping me in my business. First is content generation. So I have this automation where all I have to do is just take my phone. If I have an idea, voice it out. ChatGPT transcribes it, creates content and put it in my content calendar. That is one way. Second way in which I'm using is creating proposals using ChatGPT. We are building an automation where as soon as the discovery call ends, put it to ChatGPT. We are currently doing it manually. We take the transcript, we put it in a ChatGPT. It creates a scope point or the project scope point, what we discussed on the call, and it's very accurate. And all I have to do is just add that transcript, make few small tweaks, put it in the proposal and send it over to them.
What are the different types of JD you have, job description you have in an automation?
Alright, so this is one thing that most people struggle with because the industry is such a new thing, there is no no term that people coined. Because recently Alex Hermosi was hiring for an automation specialist, systems and automation. He put the job post as tech director. I was like, hey Alex, that's not the right word. There is multiple words. There is marketing operations, which comes into systems. Then there is marketing automation.
I'll put this in a way. You have 8 people.
Yeah.
What each of them do?
Yes. So what each of them do is, one is specialized in systems only. So this is the person, when you say, hey, I need a CRM, this person is the one who builds a CRM for you. Hey, I need a project management system. So everything begins with the system. If I have to automate it, you need to have some systems in place. So this is how I automate it. So first, build a system. That is one person that is dedicated for it. And then there is 3 automation engineers. So this is no-code automation engineers that specializes in building automations. And lastly, we have a copy team that develops the copy for all the email automations we create.
Okay. My next question is, how much you can earn as an automation expert?
It varies, man. It varies depending upon your experience. You could starting as somewhere between 10,000 rupees per month. You can start from there, and it could go all the way to 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs per month, depending upon how much industry experience you have and how good you are. You don't have to have a lot of years of experience, as long as you're good at your craft, at building automation and identifying the bottlenecks. That's the most important thing. This is what I tell all my team members. It's not about what you build, it's about how you go by building it. The know-how on how to build the whole thing is important. So as long as you have the knack for it, it doesn't matter if you have 6 months, 1 year, you can make a good amount of money, somewhere between 3 to 4 lakhs per month or something.
Let's say you can you name one of the famous automation, or there'll be one work which is very close to your heart, right? Can you explain one such kind of a work you did?
Honestly, we built 5,000 plus automation. So there's a lot of stuff we did. So I'm just gonna list out 3 things.
Ali Abdaal's message was some kind of.
Yes, I was about to say that. So there is 3 automations that are my most favorite. First is this reporting automation, or dashboard plus reporting system plus automation we built for a coach called Anthony O'Neill. Okay. Anthony O'Neill is a big coach. He worked with Dave Ramsey. He's pretty popular in the US. He came to me, direct message on Upwork. Hey Fahad, I would like to work with you. And I jumped on a call, and he was like, hey, I have this spreadsheet, put a bar chart on it and automate the data.
So these famous people comes to Upwork and message.
Yes, exactly. They just look at the track record, how good of the guy he is, and if they have credibility. What the funny thing he told me is, the reason I chose you is because you're at the top and you had a website. So he's like, so there's credibility. Anyways, irrelevant point. Coming back, he just told me he has a spreadsheet, put a bar chart. I was like, I can do better for you. So what we've done is we build 50 plus automations and we build a reporting system for him on Looker Studio. And this Looker Studio is giving him a complete overview.
What is Looker Studio?
Looker Studio is a reporting...
Lookout Studio?
No, Looker Studio.
Looker.
Looker Studio is a reporting system that's developed by Google. So Google Sheets, Google Docs. It used to be called Google Data Studio, but now it's Looker Studio. This is the analytics platform that I think I've shown you yesterday as well.
Yeah, CEO dashboard.
Exactly. This is like a visual dashboard of all your data in a visual format. Instead of you seeing in a Google Sheet, it pulls out in the Google Sheet and shows you in a very visual format. So we automated the data being filled in real time for his products, for his website, for his SEO, for his...
From where you have known that there is something called Looker Studio? How do you get
it? Comes from experience. I used to be the automation specialist for a very big agency in the UK. And these guys used to work with all the big coaches out there. They were the ones I was the key automation specialist in that company for 2 years while I was freelancing. And they used to work with Grant Cardone. They were the one who managed Grant Cardone's 10X Studio, 10X events, and they work with a lot of coaches. I can't say their name. I have NDAs in place. And even Alex Hermosi reached out to them for the 100 million leads launch. So they are a big agency. I used to be the key automation specialist in there, and I just learned a lot of these things, and that's how I came across Looker Studio. That is why Anthony told me, hey, I want this. I was like, hey, don't do that. Looker Studio is the right option, and we built this whole thing out, and this gave him a complete overview of his whole business. He had no idea. All he told me was, spreadsheet, bar charts, that's it. I'm like, I can do better. So once I showed this to him, dude was completely blown away. So this has like 5,000 plus automations, and we built it in 3 months. And every team member of his loved it because they had no idea this thing is possible. Now every day, real-time update is being given to him, and he loved it so much, he told it to Ali Abdaal, who then messaged me, and that is how I got it. I didn't even tell him to refer me. He was so impressed with it that he referred me to Ali Abdaal. That is one thing.
A few more questions, maybe 2 or 3 questions to end up with.
Yeah.
One, how do you explain your mom about your work?
Wow. I honestly don't know. What I would say is, everyone, I would just say I'm a IT engineer. You know,
Okay.
I work in the IT system space. But if someone who I want to impress, I would be like, I'm an automation engineer. So, and when they ask what is automation, I'd be like, I essentially streamline and automate your business process. So you as a business owner can focus on your business and bots is going to handle it. That's how I describe it
Second
as.
question: when is the right time for a business to jump into automation? Like, let's say I have 5 people. Should I use automation
Yes.
right now? Like, when is the right time? If does a small business requires an automation, and can they afford them?
Yes. What I would say is that whenever the manual work you do exceeds the amount of input that you're putting, I put it very simply. If you are spending 20,000 rupees or 30,000 rupees per month doing this specific task, and this tasks can be automated using a $20 tool, that is the right time and you have to automate. And this is usually when you pass the 3% threshold, when you have a team of more than 3, and that is when you're full-fledged, you have a lot of stuff going on, all 3 members are doing multiple things in your business, so your objective is to ease things up for them, and that is when you have to start and looking into the manual process and you go automating it from there. This is very regional. So because I work with mostly with the US clients, WhatsApp as a thing, it's non-existent. It doesn't matter. But because I've been starting to work with a lot of UAE clients, that is when WhatsApp comes into play here. And it's very important because WhatsApp is a medium where you can get direct response. The open rate is like 80 to 90% compared to email, which is like 30%. So automating the WhatsApp to the best of your capabilities, as long as you don't bother them too much, all you're doing is notifying them for anything, your conversion rate can be much higher. I'll give you an example. A lead comes in, they book a call, boom, WhatsApp automation to notify them, hey, we have a call coming up. Your show up rate is gonna go from 30% all the way till 80% with just this one automation, because you're notifying them on WhatsApp, they get reminded. And anytime you have an offer or now you're following up on a proposal, just send them a automated WhatsApp notification and they will get back to your team. So your team doesn't have to focus on follow-ups. All they will do is focus on getting more sales. So I think if you can automate it, that would be amazing when it comes to sales
Anything
process.
I should know other than what we have discussed about automation?
I think it's high time every business needs to start automating, because I will give you give an overview on how automation as a industry is. Or do you know the trend life cycle? That is, it's like this very early adoption, growth, maturity, and saturated.
Blue ocean and red
Yes,
ocean.
exactly. So automation up until now used to be a very early adoption thing, where only very technical guys, the coaches that we work with, were only aware of privy of this whole automation as industry, and they know its importance. That is why these guys started to do it first. But what I've seen the trend for the past 1 year is that now most businesses are aware of the importance of automation, having proper systems, AI solutions, especially with the advent of AI. Automation as a thing that you need in your business is becoming very important. You know how every business needs to have an HR? Just like that, I believe every business right now needs to have some sort of automation in place, so they as a business owner can focus more on the business and the automation can handle the rest.
Great. One last question. Let's say someone joins your team. Of course, you won't give them the client work immediately. What's the process from them joining your team, as they love automation but they don't know anything about it, to taking it themselves throughout?
Okay, so we have a 3-month probationary period for any beginners that join us, interns. And what we do is every month we have a roadmap. So first month's roadmap is every week you do this. I give them a list of courses that they can take to get them familiar. Like I've mentioned,
You said make academy.
Exactly. Those courses are what I recommend as well. Get foundational knowledge first, then get foundational knowledge on the specific tool we are going to use. They will do that within 2 weeks or something, and then I will start by giving them small projects, because you learn the most by implementing it. So I give them small tasks like, hey, do this automation. Maybe I don't even have any use for it. I just say, hey, just do this automation and come to me. And the more they do this automation, they get more familiar. That's the first thing. Second month, we give them small client tasks. Third month, we give them full-fledged client tasks, and by the third month, they are fully aware of all the things that they can do. And fourth month onwards, I just assign everything to them completely.
Great. This is what I love about podcasts, is that you sit with a person 1 hour, you learn so much that it is otherwise impossible to learn, right? And I have learned a lot of things. I have learned about Luca Studio. I have learned about Make Academy. I have learned about HubSpot Academy. I have learned about Fiverr, right? So there's a lot of learning. I hope people be aware about the automation industry post this podcast, and people reach out to you, build their systems, build their automations, and more people comes to this market. As I say, when we have a lot of people promoting the same thing, it's easier for you, right? So comes to this phase, a lot of things. I have a guy in my company called Umer. This guy is very passionate about automation. One day I have shown him the similar way, mini chat, and this guy is right now master. He automates the sheet and everything, interdepartmental process and everything. So that's what I love much about him. So thank you so much, Fahad. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing. I wish you all the very best. I'll Very soon I'll see with all the big names in the industry, where Fahad will be in the middle and you have all these people in the behind of your poster, and with a caption, "Do automate like these people have done." I am sure that that is going to happen. All the very best for hard work. May Allah bless. Yeah. Thank you.